Very pleased to welcome Mr. Loic Questiaux, Sales Director, Eviation, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India. Eviation is the world's first commercial electric plane. Thank you very much for being with us today. Would you please tell us about your presence in the Middle East? We know that you successfully basically flew in the United States. You had some deals in the United States, in New Zealand as well, in Europe. But what about the Middle East?
So we are seeing more and more focus in the region, and in the region by that I mean the GCC, the UAE in particular, with regard to sustainable aviation. So we know that the Sheikh said that this year would be the year of sustainability.
Yes.
We have the COP28
His Highness
coming.
Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the President of the United Arab Emirates.
Yes. We have the COP coming. We have so we have a focus on that in the region at the moment. That's the reason why I'm here, is to make sure that we can propose something that meets the requirements of the region. People want to be green. We have something to offer, and I'm here for that.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of discussions with different actors in the region. Our airplanes actually exist in a VIP configuration, in a 9-seater, which is a commuter configuration, also exist in a cargo configuration. And we have NDAs in place, so I can't say too much just yet, but we should announce something very soon.
Do you foresee an announcement, a big announcement about any deal in the Middle East?
We do expect to announce something very soon.
Okay, cool. Cargo or passenger, if I may know?
On the cargo side.
On the cargo side.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
What about the range? Basically, this is the big question.
Yes.
Electric versus hydrogen. That's the big debate. Many people see that the future is more like hydrogen, one step, and the electric is needed as well. So,
I think both are absolutely compatible. So what we are proposing here is based on a technology that exists today, which is basically you take an airplane made of composite, a fly-by-wire airplane, which is the 787-350 aircraft. And you put inside a battery pack, energy storage system, as we call it, that is what you have in a Tesla.
Yeah.
And you put electric engine in the back, which is what you'd have in a bunch of applications nowadays, including the cars and everything. And there you go, you fly.
Yeah.
Whereas hydrogen or other sources of being looked at the moment are just not there yet. So Airbus announced the first hydrogen plane in the late 2030s, the second half of 2030s.
Yeah.
So put it that way, if Airbus can do that, nobody can do it before.
Yeah.
And if nobody can do it before, we can do it before with electric. And obviously the range will be shorter.
Yeah.
And we're not competing with these people at all. We are proposing a 9-seater or a 1.2 tons cargo, basically, that is going to be fully electric. That means the range will be at entry into service of between 400 and 500 kilometers. That being said, 400 to 500 kilometers when you're in Dubai, like we are today, for instance, allows you to reach Abu Dhabi, of course, but even Doha, Dammam, Oman, or a bunch of places in the region that are of interest for sure, for next day delivery, if you do cargo, same day delivery even, or for point-to-point traveling, or even for to be used as a feeder to larger airplanes for big operators in the region. So
when do we expect the service to go into effect, to see the planes operational?
So the entry into service is in 2027 in the US first, because we're an American company, so we're going to certify FAA in 2027. The year after, we should be able to certify other authorities.
Okay. The infrastructure, basically, when it comes to electric mobility and all that, the subject of infrastructure, do you think the Middle East, the world, including the Middle East, is ready for electric planes, aviation? And what are the steps needed to cover that?
I would say nobody's ready, but the Middle East and others are certainly willing to get there. And
is
it's
there any roadmap?
There is a willingness, and that's the first thing, right?
Okay.
If you have a political willingness and a public willingness and acceptance towards this kind of product, it will naturally follow.
Yeah.
So we have visits from airports, for instance, coming all the way to see us in Arlington, Washington State, at our headquarters to discuss with our program team how should we get ready for that plane, these kind of things.
Yeah.
So to the point, nobody is yet ready, but that's okay because we have 4 more years into certification, and that's the right moment to engage with us now. So it's a whole ecosystem that has to get there. One step at a time, but all together.
Yeah.
basically.
Basically, you were a startup. You're not anymore. You're well established, and the UAE is very active in terms of the aerospace startups. Are you planning to engage into this, basically, into any alliance or any cooperation with any startup in the Middle East, aerospace, for the infrastructure, for the operations, for the service, for anything?
We are looking at a bunch of opportunities. We've been contacted by a bunch of people, not only in the UAE, but also outside of it. We're currently really analyzing our options with regard to that. And that could be, the partnerships could take various forms and shapes, depending on the skills, competence, opportunities on these regions. So this is, of course, something we keep very close to our chest. But we're looking at possibilities to partner with big names. Yes.
Green financing in the aviation sector is something that is big. What are your options in this part of the world? In terms of your clients, for example, the deal that you are having, will it be financed by a bank, corporate bank, by a...
We actually very recently signed a deal with a leasing company, an aircraft, a well-established lessor actually, which will be made public very soon. We're discussing this. We're looking at various types of financing. We have a lot of contacts with both banks to allow different types of finance lease or operating lease or these kind of things. So bank leasing companies and everything. So we're engaged with the whole ecosystem again. Some intend, and most customers that we signed actually intend to have a mix of owned and leased aircraft and financed in many different ways, like you would expect in aviation for any kind of thing. So we do believe that our aircraft would be eligible for a lot of typical green funds in different countries, you know, that would promote green initiatives, and aviation is one of them.
Do you feel that in this part of the world, in the Middle East?
It hasn't been discussed just yet because we're about, as I said, to finalize something here, but it's going to be the next step to discuss. Yes, definitely. See how we can.
Thank you very much.